As the world gets smaller and humanity across the globe begins to share knowledge and information as never before. Though the television and internet compete with the books, the pleasure of reading a good book is quite incompatible. Today, publication of books is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There are thousands of publishing houses across the world engaged in the production and marketing of various types of books in varied formats and designs. There is hardly any subject on which there is no book. From academics to cinema, from travel to health, from fiction and fantasy to beauty care. Books cover a wide range of subjects, catering to an ever-widening range of readers across the world. As an industrial product, the book is published in a very systematic manner today. A reputed publishing house may receive hundreds of unsolicited manuscripts of books authored by individuals who wish to make their writing public. Since publishing a book is an expensive affair, no publisher can risk publishing a book that will have no readers. A book has to have some value in the market.
The marketing department takes care of broadly two departments. One is the brand management and second one is the promotions. Under promotions, we do various things like book release events, press reviews and author interviews. Things like this go a long way in promoting our books and making them popular among the masses. Under brand management, we do so many things like product service, better customer service to the reader, and we also have multi-product service to our customers. Under brand management, we also do so many events across India and abroad. And these events are such like book release events and press reviews and author interviews. And we are also, the marketing department is constantly looking out for new ideas and new ventures. Well, by new ideas, I mean looking out for new and young authors, who do some really good books. And of late, these books are doing very well in the market. Yes, we do have some very famous authors in our list, like M.J. Akbar and Kushal Singh. But having these famous authors does make our marketing job much easier, because it's much easier to sell books written by famous authors. But if you look at the industry now, there are some very new faces in the market who do give some very good books, and the marketing department will have to identify the new authors in the market and to promote them.
Modern publishing houses have a full-fledged editorial department that ensures that a book is worthy of publication in terms of its content, organization and presentation.
Well, as chief editor or commissioning editor of a publishing house, I have two main responsibilities. One is commissioning the books. Over here at Rowley we have two main lists. One is the illustrated books, or the coffee table books, and the other is the non-illustrated books, which covers both non-fiction and fiction. Though I primarily handle the non-illustrated books, I also do some amount of commissioning for the illustrated books. Apart from commissioning and developing my own books, my other main responsibility is to take care of the overall publishing program. That is to say, I have to, in consultation with the publisher and the marketing people, develop a publishing program and schedule the books which have been commissioned, and decide in which month and by which date each title should come out. I also monitor and supervise the work of the other editors who commission and edit their own books, and of the DTP and the production staff.
Book editors are highly professional and skilled individuals commanding an in-depth knowledge in the field. It is the book's editor's responsibility to approve the manuscript for publication after a proper evaluation of its subject and content. The book editor may consult the author and suggest changes. Since book editors are highly specialized in their jobs, the comments and suggestions of the book editor are generally accepted. This process is called vetting. Editors sometimes send manuscripts to subject experts or referees without disclosing the name of the author for an objective evaluation of the manuscript.
First, we have to see that the manuscript which is being offered to us fits in with the subjects that we have decided to publish. The second most important criterion is, of course, the quality of the writing and the treatment of the subject. But once the manuscript has been selected and commissioned by us, then of course the editing process starts. The first stage of the editing is when the editor who is handling the manuscript, whether it is myself or another editor, we read through the manuscript and we see what are the problems, the flaws, or any deficiencies in the manuscript, and these are discussed with the author, of course.
Once a manuscript is approved for publication, it is now processed by the copy editor, who is an interface between the publisher and the printer. The copy editor decides on how the book should look. The copy editor is highly knowledgeable about the technical aspects of book printing and advises about the page size, page layout, chapter heading and running heads and the style sheet. The copy editor follows rules that ensure uniformity in the book in the aspects of spellings, capitalization, abbreviation, transliteration, punctuation and paragraphing. While the editor's job is to evaluate and decide on the contents of the book, the copy editor's job is to ensure that the physical aspects of the book and its designs are in line with the publisher's specifications and policies. The copy editor keeps the optical process of reading in mind and ensures that the book is attractive in its design layout and presentation.
The look of a book is an extremely important component for our consideration as a publishing house, primarily because at the first appearance it is a reflection of the commitment of the publishing house to quality packaging, and especially in today's times, a book is like any other product that you put out in the market. It has to look attractive. The second thing is that the appearance of a book is the first advertising and promotional space that we get to market the book. So from the point of view of marketing, it is strategically extremely important that the book is packaged well. And thirdly, at a glance, the book has to absolutely reflect the kind of content that it carries. It could be fiction, it could be non-fiction, it could be an illustrated book on religion, on history. So within that first snapshot, it just has to convey to a potential reader what its content is and draw the reader to it as a product. So as I was saying, that it is very essential that the book is packaged very well, because besides just a readership that we are targeting who might want to pick up the book either voluntarily or involuntarily, it is also a silent signal that we send out to our other potential authors with whom we haven't yet started dealing, who would be drawn to the publishing house on the basis of its packaging, on the basis of its marketing, on the basis of its commitment to quality production and packaging, so that they see that this is a book published by a certain publishing house of fantastic repute, and would want to come to us with some of their projects on which we can work together in future. So it's not really just a readership that we're targeting, we're also targeting authors, potential authors, and telling them very, very silently that we are the publishing house that they should be coming to in future.
It must be remembered that a book is laid open and closed a number of times. It is held and is carried. It is kept in homes, libraries and offices. The book must have a long life. All these parameters are thought of when the copy editor decides on the size, thickness, weight and binding quality of the book. Once the copy editor takes the necessary decisions, the manuscript is now ready for typesetting. Written manuscripts are transferred into an electronic format with the help of computers. This is the world of desktop publishing, popularly known as DTP. Armed with high-tech hardware and appropriate word processing software, the manuscript is fed into the computer's hard disk.
It's much simpler now using the computer rather than the way it used to be done in the olden days. Well, not so long ago, till about 10 years ago, or maybe later than that also. Artworks used to be made by hand. Each picture used to be pasted, text used to be placed. Changing anything took a very long time. Films had to be changed, the plate had to be changed, artwork had to be redone. It was very tedious. You had to fit things in where they could be fit in. Now with Quark Express, InDesign, CorelDRAW, with Photoshop, with all the image software that we have, it's much simpler. You get to place things where you wish to place them. Reverse text is much easier. Text over pictures, text wherever you want it, in different colors. Changing text is simpler. You just output a PDF or a little strip of film and you place it in single color. Registration is much simpler. Colors are clearer. Scanning is better these days. Using images has become the simplest possible that it can be. Any simpler would be just digital images, which is also coming up these days. Direct-to-plate printing is possibly going to overtake film printing in the near future. Quark Express is giving way now to InDesign, more integrated with Photoshop and the Adobe softwares, Illustrator, CorelDRAW, all of those.
To design the pages of the book designer will use a page designing software, specially made for book or magazine publications. As per the specifications of the copy editor's specified technical inputs, a specific style is used for the choice of font and font size, paragraph styling, indents and footnoting. If the book contains photographs and other graphics, then the page designer will scan that material through a scanner and place it appropriately in the page. The quality and the character of the photograph can be digitally altered before it is finally placed in the page. To design a book, the copy editors work with various layouts.
An editor is a middle person between the author and the printed book. So when you get a manuscript from the author, it can be a children's book, or it can be an adult book, or it can be an illustrated book or a non-illustrated book. So you begin by looking at the content, and if need be, you work with the author to develop the content, whether it needs updating or any revising, or it needs any restructuring in the story if it's a fiction book. And then once that is done, which is the content editing, once that is taken care of, then you get into the nitty-gritties, which is the which is called copy editing. So basically here you're looking at grammar of the text, or the consistencies and spellings and word usage and commas and punctuation marks, etc. And once that is done, which is the second stage, then you get into the production, which is you lay out the book. And here, if it's a children's book, a lot of design elements need to be taken care of. You might need to include pictures and use a bigger font and for easy access and easy readability, and to get children interested in the book. In an adult book, you just look at the readability and readability of the font. And once the book is laid out, the fourth aspect is the proofreading, where you iron out, you again look at spellings and commas and And all this is much more easier now because of the computer. I mean, you just we work on Word files, and then we work on, if once the design comes into play, we work on Quark and all other softwares, and so a lot of things get taken care of at that, and things are much simpler.
The first thing that catches one's attention is the title of a book and its cover. Special attention is given to the design of the book cover that includes the front, back and spine, and artwork for it is created either manually or with the help of computers. Hardbound books have jackets around them. This too is specially designed to make the book look attractive. The computer has changed the book designing dramatically, allowing the designer to execute just about any kind of design that can be imagined. Books cannot have mistakes in them. The printed matter in a book is sacrosanct and unalterable. To ensure that the written matter is absolutely flawless when it is finally published, proofreading is done carefully, scrutinizing each and every word of the book. The good proofreader is accurate and fast and uses a coded marking to point out the flaws in the proof that needs correction in the margins of the printed text. Books that are full of illustrations, tables, charts and photographs will need the professional book designer to design the book. To do this work in a methodical manner, a blank dummy book is created. This blank dummy shows the actual paper size, the spine and binding and other fabrication details of the book. The dummy is an important aspect of the publication of a book. The dummy gives the publisher a fair idea about how the book will look when it is finally published.
Design of the book is as important as the content. It is like packaging any product, and the more attractive the book, it just helps in getting the reader to the book. Content eventually is important, and now with such development in softwares and technology, we have better machines, better softwares, so which achieves us to produce better books, and we can enhance pictures, improve pictures which are very old, which was not very possible much before. But with all this, it eventually is giving us much more options and for more innovation, and eventually it is like more competitive and better products are coming.
The other thing which is very important is to do with competition, whether it is domestic or whether it is global. At the same time, I also believe that the books don't compete with each other unless they are textbooks or subject books where there are two maths books competing against each other. People have wide tastes and they will buy books according to their own tastes. So I think when it comes to art books or fiction, I think there is no real competition between two books. At the same time, the quality is very important. So if you have good quality, in any case you win over any competition anywhere. And that was the other thing we stressed upon. And as you would see from the production quality, not only the editorial and the content, but also how you dress up the book, how you design the book is very important. We put stress on these things, and as a result, we have only improved over a period of time.
At the designing table, illustrations, photographs and texts are aesthetically arranged. For printing purposes, photographs in form of transparencies or TPs are used. The design layout is often done in black and white. Sometimes a dummy with only visuals is generated. Text printed on transparent films is placed on it to determine its final look.
Well, in printing industry there have been massive changes when I started, that in 71. And I started with letterpress. We used to do hand composing. Then the printing also used to be the blocks, the stereos. Very, very difficult, very cumbersome. And that was in 71. Now, after maybe around 85, so the computers started coming. All typesetting process became all computerized. Then from the blocks there came scanners, image setters, all color work which could never be possible earlier. It was very much possible with the new machines. Basically it was the computers which added the maximum to this effect. Now, even if you say, let's say, the focal machines, there used to be hardly any focal machines earlier, and the people used to print by 4 times in one single color machine. But now all these things can be, I mean, we are at this moment printing on the finest magazines, the international quality, and even now probably we are exporting to various countries. I mean, it is as compared to the quality standards are as good as anywhere in the world, so that is concerned. So this growth I've seen myself in past 20 years, and now I started with hand composing. Now we have almost 90% computerizations in typesetting, in scanning. Then the other major thing which has gone into this is that earlier on there used to be plates, handmade plates. They could be, I mean, damaged by various reasons, but now you have straight away, we call it CTP, that's computer to plate. Straight away from computer you go to plate and then straight to the printing. Saving lots of time, saving lots of wastages, and giving excellent quality.
Modern offset printing uses photographic methods to make plates from which printing can be done. When the book has been finally designed, it is now in the camera-ready copy or the CRC stage. Each page of the book is now photographed. From the photographic negatives, photographic positives are made. The positives are arranged in sets, generally 8 in number on a plate. The page numbers are indicated. This plate is then photographically transferred on a zinc or aluminium printing plate by plate making machine. The positives are etched onto the plate. The plates are then attached to cylinders inside the printing machine. Process color printing uses 4 transparent inks: cyan, which is a combination of blue and green, magenta, yellow and black. For color printing, there will be 4 plates, and as the paper passes, printing will be done one on the top of another in varying amounts. The printing press contains cylinders that rapidly rotate continuous webs of paper while printing with quick drying ink. Covered in ink, these plates then transfer their images onto paper in the printing press. Color photographs and other artwork can be faithfully reproduced by this method. With a magnifying glass, technicians minutely scrutinized a few test sheets to ensure that there are no printing defects.
The 2 major changes have happened. I mean, when I started, I remember that we could not import the machines to print 4-color. We are printing now. But primary difference in the whole industry came after 91. When Indian economy opened, gradually the restrictions on import were eased out because we could get excellent machinery against the export orders. We could export from the machines. So lots of part was played by the government. Now we have any technology we want, the brand new machines, and then because of that only we are able to produce that quality which is there. Plus the another thing is that, well, apart from the business, this industry has something very, very interesting thing, is that it gives you job satisfaction. Money is there, that's okay. But when you see the product which you have printed, and when you put your heart into that, and what the product comes out, you see it gives you job satisfaction. You feel very nice about that, what you have produced. So I think we are growing very well. We are competing with the world's best now, almost everything, in every field. And we have world-class presses also now in India. So I find that we have very, very bright, great future for the printing industry.
Once printed, these large printed sheets are first collected and then folded according to page numbers and creased. This process can be done with a machine or even manually, depending on the number of pages and the kind of publication. Now the book is ready for binding. There are many ways to bind a book. Once all the pages are gathered, the book can be passed on to a machine that will automatically staple it. Or the pages can be put together and bound together with a powerful adhesive on a gumming machine. Once printed and bound, the smell of a new book is as stimulating an experience as perhaps reading it.
Every time a book comes out, you need to get it reviewed and have its extensive coverage in the press, the dailies, the magazines relevant to that book. And that's how, people get to know about the book, and it also raises inquisitiveness amongst readers, and hence the demand for that book. The PR in a publishing house is all about getting yourself seen and heard, and your books reach the masses.
The book publication is a very exciting field, more so today with the advent of modern technology backed by computers. As books become more attractive and new avenues of knowledge are tapped, the pleasure of reading is only enhanced.